This past weekend, I was reminded of something that may sound obvious, namely that what we do at church matters. In this episode, I'd like to talk about that. Hello, friends. Pastor Tim Westermeyer here. Thanks for spending some time with me today. This past weekend was an important milestone in the life of the church where I serve, St. Philip the Deacon. It was the first time we moved to our sort of typical weekend worship schedule all the way back since March of 2020, at the beginning of the pandemic. We moved to online worship alone for a long time. We added back a couple of services around Easter of this year, but that moved us into the summer months. And during the summer here in Minnesota, I don't know if this is true where you live, but in the summer in Minnesota, people tend to go off to their cabins and do things over the weekend. So often attendance, even in a normal year at church, is lower during the summers. So this past weekend, we added back a full schedule of services. And while we're not all the way through the pandemic, obviously, we still have some minor restrictions and so forth. We pray that we're going to be moving in a positive direction in an ongoing way there. But we had a lot of people back for the first time in, again, 18 months. And it was a wonderful, exciting, energetic weekend, and it was fabulous to see maybe some of you watching this, see you back with us. I do want to emphasize we're continuing to do online worship and other activities virtually. We will continue that forever. We think it's really important to give people that option. But as people chatted with me yesterday, Sunday, I'm taping this on a Monday after Sunday, there was a lot of emotion in those conversations from folks who were coming back, many of them for the first time. And even if they weren't back for the first time, it was, again, the sort of most normal worship service we've had here for 18 months. And it was deeply touching to people in all kinds of ways. And that got me thinking about all of the many benefits that come from church membership. Now, I don't think we go to church for those benefits. I think we are part of a community of faith because, well, first of all, it's true, because God calls us into that community and invites us into God's mission. But as countless studies have shown, and I'm not going to go through all of them in this episode, but studies from places like Vanderbilt or Harvard or Trinity College in Dublin and countless others, they have shown that church membership is actually beneficial for us. It's beneficial mentally, it's beneficial socially, it's beneficial in terms of health. And I think part of the reason people were so emotional yesterday in sort of becoming reacquainted or re-engaged with this community, with this family that is their church, is they were reminded of how important it was to them and how much they missed it. So today, I don't do this very often because I don't think it's my place to tell you what to do necessarily. I think it's my place as a pastor to invite you into things, but I never want to sort of compel you to do things. But I want to encourage you, I guess, whoever you are, wherever you're watching this, to find a church and be part of it. And you may say, well, Tim, that sounds sort of self-interested on your part. You're a pastor. Of course you would say that. Well, fair enough, but I'm not saying you need to come to this church. If you're part of St. Philip the Deacon, great. I hope you love it. I hope you are engaged. I hope you're finding meaning through it. If you're interested in learning more about who we are and what we're doing, fabulous. You are certainly invited here. But the point isn't necessarily just to come here. If you live far away, find a church in your region. If St. Philip the Deacon isn't what you're looking for, fine. Look for another church. But I want to suggest today that you will discover not only truth in that church, you will also discover all kinds of other benefits that accrue to you mentally and physically and spiritually and in terms of your health. So one way of saying it is find a church, become part of it, participate in it, because your future self will one day thank you. Thanks for being with me today. Be well, stay in touch, and God bless.